is out of town for work right now, so it's just me at the house, and she took 2 out of our 3 dogs, so the older ones, Mowgli and Mia, with her to run around the barn and stuff, and so she left the puppy, Millie, with me. And so Millie, we've gotten to the point where she's pretty potty trained, like, I feel good about it, but I don't feel 100% about it. So she's at the house by herself right now. And I'm not going to leave her outside. She's a French Bulldog puppy. She's still not old enough for me to leave her outside. So I'm just wondering right now what's going on.
Oh, it's a Meet the Parent situation at the house right now.
Oh,
you've seen Meet the Parent.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. When he brings home the cat.
That's exactly
why. Tail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude,
But now you have something to do this afternoon. You clean your place.
If I lost that dog, first off, I would be devastated. I would have to take a couple days. At least from the show.
Don't even put that into existence.
Yeah, I'm not even putting that into existence. I'm not spray painting any other dog, like a little white bulldog, spray painting it blue, tan, or whatever. But so I guarantee I know what areas of the house it's probably going down at. And you know what? That's why you have hardwood, though. Got a little baby gate, blocks her from going upstairs where the carpet is.
Huh? You too.
Yeah. Not for a human yet.
Yeah.
But a dog baby.
This still serves its purpose.
For sure. Well, we'll use it for the human baby, too. I don't know why I talk about our child.
The human
one
baby.
day.
Y'all two are having a child?
Eventually, yes, Blaine. That's what people do when they get engaged and get married. Then they have
you looked at Dave. You looked at David.
Not me and
you looked at David and said our child.
No.
Congrats, guys. You probably
me and David are not
higher ups.
Me and David are not adopting some genius child from
you are.
Southeast Asia.
Start calling you both Flo.
Yeah, well, this isn't modern. This isn't Modern Family.
What a way to start a Monday.
That is. The chaos continues in college football and in the NFL. Georgia Tech parts ways with head coach Geoff Collins, and Albert Pujols finally reaches the 700 home run club. I'm Jake Crane. It's Monday, but get excited. Woo! Welcome to Crane & Company. One of the biggest knocks on college football today is the lack of parity. It's like we see the same movie over and over again, and some fans have gone as far as to call the game stale. But as we sit here through 4 weeks of 2022's action, I can confidently say that this year has given us a different flavor, at least up to this point. We've seen major upsets. We've seen the top dogs show a little bit of instability, and even some big-name brands have started to reemerge from the depths like USC and Florida State. There's some sneaky contenders like Washington, Tennessee, and Minnesota. And Kansas playing Duke actually means something in football. Bama and Georgia have shown to not be totally invincible, and James Madison hasn't gotten this much attention since 1809. Long story short, this season has been as fun as I can remember through 4 weeks and seems to be just getting started. Now, we will all make our projections and predictions, but there will continue to be monumental upsets and unreal finishes. Can this last up to and through the playoffs? Who knows? But at least to this point, college football and the NFL have been somewhat unpredictable, which predictably is a nice change. Going to bring in my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, my other co-host, and future Mr. Rogers jacket-wearing champion, former Western Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crane. I told you the Sunday recap, I'm not coming in with any more super-duper compliments to you this week. I'm just going to keep it steady.
You gotta do me like that on a Monday?
No. Yes.
Do me like that on a Monday?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Just keeping it steady, man.
I'm keeping it steady. Sometimes you got to keep it steady.
Well, a couple things here. David, congrats on the fantasy win.
Okay.
Congrats
see what he's doing?
What about
he's doing?
I don't know.
Why do you have to do this to David? I'm the one.
It starts with David. Then
for
the people who don't know.
I look like Mr. Rogers. You look like a.
Now you're gonna have to make me explain it to people.
Good. I'll brain blast all over this thing.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. That sounded awesome. But, that's fine. Cone, how much you up right now in fantasy?
I'm up by 40.
Never. And he's got what? You're playing Clavin?
I'm playing Knowles.
You're playing Knowles.
Michael Knowles.
Trash talking Knowles.
I'm up by 40. Thanks for putting it in the universe.
For sure.
Okay, and he has Saquon Barkley.
Well, you know what they say about
few running backs.
You just need Saquon
one of the few running backs.
You know what they say about
fantasy?
41. You know what they say about fantasy? No lead is safe. So
Exactly.
good luck to you today.
Well, you know what they also say about fantasy when all your players have played, a lead is safe. Took down Walsh last week. Thank goodness I didn't play him this week with the Mark Andrews just absolutely looked in the mirror and pulled an ET and freaked out. But I took down Shapiro this week. So look, 2-1. Started off, played Bickley, who struggled now in Morning Wire, but because Justin Jefferson hadn't lost his mind the past 2 weeks like he did against me the first week. So I'm feeling really good about the team. Kyler, the offense doesn't look great. Hop's coming back.
You should be most excited about the way Derrick Henry looked.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's
Derrick
Ryan
Henry
Tannehill stole a touchdown.
That's exactly
the
right.
rock for you.
And we're gonna get into the fantasy update.
Okay.
But guys, I do want to start with, and we always get excited. I battle back and forth in my mind because is it one of those things where we don't get college football for so long that when we get it, we're like, this is the greatest season we've ever seen ever, just because we haven't had it. Like, if I hadn't eaten like mint chocolate chip ice cream in like 6 months, and then I take a bite of mint chocolate chip ice cream, I'm like, this is literally from the gods, handed down generations and years and on tablets and stones.
There's something to that.
But when I do look, the parity this year is a real thing, and I think you can attribute it mainly to the transfer portal. And a lot of people thought it would have an inverse effect. We really didn't know. And look, the rich have gotten richer. Jermaine Burton goes to Bama. Eli Ricks goes to Bama. Jahmyr Gibbs goes to Bama. Georgia didn't use the transfer portal, which is shocking, and we've seen how dominant they've been, even though both of those teams have shown a couple of chinks in the armor a little bit. This last week, Georgia against Kent State. Kent State was able to move the ball. I mean, they brought more screens than a parole office against Georgia, and it worked. Alabama, we know against Texas, you've seen some weaknesses there. But man, I mean, you look around the country with what we've had happen in the Sun Belt, with what you're seeing with Kansas and Duke, Washington in the Pac-12, Washington State being good even though they blew it against Oregon. I think we're seeing more parity this year than we've seen. And you look in the NFL, I mean, there's only a couple teams. You only had a couple games where it was a couple 2-0 teams playing each other. The Jags are 2-1. I mean, what's going on? I love it. It's great for the game of football.
It's fantastic for the game. The game is in a good place. To your first point about we wait year-round for college football, I do think there is something to be said about the limited season, playing 12 games. When you play Major League Baseball and you have 162 games and it's over half of the year, yeah, it's like there's not as much time to wait and get excited about it. So I think there is something to be said on that. And then the transfer portal, like you're talking about, you can see it. You can clearly see it impacting some of these smaller teams. When you see like a Middle Tennessee State go and beat Miami, you can see it in effect. Now, I'm still not completely in favor of kids just showing up on campus the first couple weeks and you get homesick and you're not the starter right away and you want to quit. Like, I'm not trying to promote quitting, but I've always said that I don't want to see kids be exploited and not be able to leave a university when coaches can leave in a heartbeat. So we're seeing the positive aspects of the transfer portal right now, and it is good for college football.
Yeah, and with all the seismic changes we're seeing off the field with NIL, with the transfer portal, with conference realignment, the on-the-field product is as good as it's ever been. I mean, the guys are bigger, faster, stronger. The hits are even harder, even though we know the rules with targeting and stuff like that have been affected. They're trying to take care of quarterbacks, defensive players. Well, really just the offense, let's be honest. But what continues it, and I want to see in the comments, tell us in the comments below, are you feeling the same thing in the Booster Club? Are you guys feeling the same thing that I'm feeling? Because it's so much more enjoyable to be, and even if you're wrong on some of the picks, it makes it harder to bet. It makes it harder to pick, but it does make it more enjoyable. And I want to go, Blaine, what are your thoughts on it?
This is so tough for me because, like, I go back, like, college football, I almost always get this feeling like it's almost always this fun, though. It's almost always this fun. Can you really go back and, like, pinpoint yourself during the season and be like, well, man, this isn't really what I expected? College football has always been this fun. It's been a great year. I mean, the parity from 4 to 10, probably, yeah. But, I mean, let's sit here and be honest. We know the 3 to 4 teams that are going to play for it. Yeah.
Well, we have a good idea, but I think you've seen, and again, there were some struggles in some games for Georgia last year, and we know Alabama with the offensive line didn't come along until the end of the year. But when I look around the rest of the country, I feel like the storylines, I mean, what storylines really can you point to last year that are similar to the ones in Kansas and Duke and things like that? And I know you said 4 through 10, but I feel like it hasn't been, it's not what did we expect or this is what we expected. It's a lot of it's been the unexpected. Syracuse being undefeated. I feel like there's just been more of that this year because you'll have your 1 or 2 teams that surprise everybody. But just, I mean, there's been 5 to 7 that I'm looking around. James Madison comes into FBS. They beat Middle Tennessee State, beat their ass, to be honest. And then Middle Tennessee State goes on the road and beats Miami up. And then James Madison beats App State, who beat A&M. It's just, to me, it's kind of like this vortex, this amalgamation of a bunch of crazy games that have made each week fun.
Well, I feel like to kind of go back to what you said. Well, the rich got richer, but more people are moving into the middle class.
That's a great way to put it.
So
that may be the smartest thing I've ever heard you say.
I like that. You should
Somebody write that down.
All right, guys, this was fun.
Good job, Blaine. Good job.
Good week. All right.
Good week.
I really got to look at some spreads after what Ace did this weekend.
No, it's so true. And the game, of course, it is still top heavy, right? You're still like Georgia and Alabama are kind of still, and the Buckeyes too are still kind of head and shoulders above everyone else. But that's just the nature of the selection mechanism with players deciding. I mean, we talk about the parity in the NFL. It makes sense because the worst team the year before gets to select players first. The best team gets to select players last. In college football, the best team, everyone wants to go sign there and play for them.
Well, it's like you said, Nick Saban said about coaching the NFL. Why would I go back where I get 1 first-round pick or I could stay at Alabama?
I could get a dozen of them.
That's exactly right.
So that is going to be the case for a while. But when you see like a Kansas 4-0 and you see what Syracuse is able to do, that kind of stuff is good for the sport. And even when you see the game be a little bit top heavy with the transfer portal, kids will go and say, you know what, I'm going to go take my shot at some place like a Wake Forest, right, or NC State. And when you see Georgia Southern be able to beat Nebraska and App State, Texas A&M, and Marshall, Notre Dame all in the same weekend, that's not stuff I can really remember happening when I was growing up.
Yeah, no. I think it's very similar. That's why, imagine. Like now, if we saw an upset, and I hate to bring this back, like App State over Michigan. You remember when it happened then, and everybody?
I do, yes. I do remember.
No, he doesn't.
I do remember when it happened.
I'm saying that to say this. Everybody's like, "Whoa, this is a crazy thing." Nowadays, if it happens, people are like, "Wow." All right, who plays at 2:30? Like you're not
super surprised.
You're not as super surprised, and that's a great segue into our best and worst from college football.
Yes.
We're going to do the NFL tomorrow. We mixed them both last Monday, but I'll make sure we have enough time to get through this. Booster Club, make sure you're throwing your questions out there, and go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want you to just absolutely just go downhill. All right, Derrick Henry this weekend, downhill. Punish that like button because it's been a bad boy. All right, best in college football. Don't look at me like that when I say that. I don't know why you have these like weird like off looks that you.
No, I didn't expect like early this Monday to look at you and see you look at the camera and said, "Punish the like button because it's a bad boy."
Well, you know what? It's a Monday, Monday fun day. Get your mind right. My best in college football this weekend. You know what? It wasn't a scoreboard blowing ball blowing out performance, but Max Johnson. Inserted into A&M, comes in as a starter, 2-0 against 2 ranked teams. Did Miami look bad against Middle Tennessee State? Yeah, but that was this week. A&M beat them last week. You beat a good Arkansas team this week. We're gonna do grade that team later. Talk about this game, but it's not all. And me and Aaron Murray were talking about this on social media because there's some A&M fans where all I tweeted out was Max Johnson as the starter for A&M, 2-0. That's it. That's it. Some guys are like, oh, well, there's so many quarterbacks that had better games. So nobody is saying that Max Johnson is going to win the Heisman. Nobody is saying that Max Johnson is going to win the Maxwell Award. Nobody's saying he's going to win the Davey O'Brien Award. Hell, Connor Wegman, at the end of the day, when his career's over, is probably going to be a better player than what Max Johnson was. But he's the right guy for right now. Why? What is he not doing? Turning the ball over. Which is a lot, it sounds a lot easier than it really is when you have guys at A&M, and look, Evan Stewart's got a ton of talent. We know A-Chain can absolutely skate Apollo Ono style, but they don't have a ton of vertical threat weapons that are able to open up a ton underneath. Max Johnson is taking care of the ball, he's making good decisions, and he's making the throws when he has to. The throw fading away on smash, the first touchdown pass he threw, the anticipation on that was nuts. Haynes King isn't making 60, 70% of these throws. Better yet, Haynes King isn't making 80% of these decisions, and Haynes King was panicking in the pocket. Max is not panicking. Hell, there were 2 or 3 times where it was a bad snap. Max dropped it, picked it up, went and made a play. One time on 3rd down that was huge. And he is using his legs effectively. How many times against Arkansas did he bail A&M out of a 3-and-out by using his legs? Playing the quarterback position isn't just about passing yards. We get enthralled with stats sometimes, and stats tell a lot, but stats are like previews for movies. They tell you a decent amount, but they don't give you the full story of what happened. And Max Johnson coming into A&M, it's like it's a calming presence for the whole team, because they know, A, somebody's in there that can actually throw the ball effectively, that will take smart chances when they take chances, and somebody that is athletic enough to extend the play not only from inside the pocket, but outside of the pocket. So the best for me is Max Johnson coming in to a situation at A&M where everybody is freaking out because of what happened against App State. A lot of uncertainty in the offense. You were last in the country basically in explosive plays. Now, were you going up against the best secondary ever in Arkansas? No, they're actually one of the worst. They've been beat up. They got some young guys there. The rotation's kind of screwed up. But Max Johnson is doing what he has to do to win for A&M. And at the end of the day, bringing stability to A&M right now and giving them a chance to win this game with the talent around him is the best position that A&M can be in my
I don't understand why there's so much pushback on Max Johnson from Texas A&M.
Because it's not this sexy. It's not that. Number one, Connor Wegman's always going to be super popular because he's the 5-star. But people forget, Max Johnson threw for over 3,000 yards at LSU, 27 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
While getting yelled at from Ed Orgeron to not throw the football to tight end because their wide receiver.
And their offensive line was getting, absolutely destroyed on the reg, where he was having to run around for his life like he's trying to escape North Korea.
I mean, if I completed a pass to a tight end and the coach yelled at me for throwing to a tight end because we're wide receiver I would transfer too.
I would transfer
too. Even when the coach got fired,
during the game, I'd leave.
That's what I'm saying. I'd transfer to the other team.
Yeah, he's not going to win the Heisman Trophy, man. Look, if you fell in love with watching Johnny Manziel spin around in the pocket and beat Alabama, Max Johnson's not going to win the Heisman Trophy. Texas A&M's not going to win every game for the rest of the season. Max Johnson's going to throw some interceptions. I understand all that. But you know what? I think if that kid starts against Appalachian State, I think Texas A&M wins that football game. You know what else? He reminds me of Stetson Bennett. He reminds me of Stetson Bennett in terms of the ability to control the game, complete the passes he's supposed to, not turn the football over. And you see an example where Stetson Bennett has an amazing team around him and is able to win the national championship. I think that's kind of the ceiling that could be there for Max Johnson if he had the pieces and the weapons around him and was being supported in the same capacity.
Max is like a 6 with a great personality. Right, that's what he is. And you got to love that.
7?
6 or 7. I give him a 7 too with a great personality.
7 dressed up?
And and you can't always go for the 10, right?
Sure.
10. Haynes King, I would say, is a 9 with a crappy personality, right? It doesn't last. It's a couple weeks, just doesn't feel the same. Next thing you know, you're calling Max up again. Max can cook. He's understanding, communicates well.
Doesn't yell at you all the time.
Doesn't yell at you all the time.
Leaving cupboards open in the kitchen.
And that's the type of stuff Max is just the guy that A&M needs right now. Mm-hmm. And it's a great move that they got him the portal, because without him, it'd be a mess.
Yeah,
it'd be a bad relationship.
Yeah, just imagine if Zach Calzada was there getting hurt during football games. Anyways, what was your best?
What's my best for college football? The state of Kansas.
Yeah.
The state of Kansas. I mean, look, Jayhawks are 4-0. Jalen Daniels was 19 of 23, 324 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. I'm talking about Kansas.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about basketball.
They clicked their heels together and figured it out.
They figured it out. Look, I didn't see that coming. I really did not see that coming for Kansas, but they've had an incredible start to the season. And then Kansas State.
Yeah.
Kansas State. I had a fan tweet at me today, said Kansas State's won 4 of their last 6 in Norman. Adrian Martinez threw for 234 yards, had another 148 on the ground with 5 total touchdowns. You want to talk about
he played his game.
Story?
That was the most Kansas State game.
Man? Yeah.
Offensively.
I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah, it was. Blaine, what was yours?
Mine, this team didn't win. All right.
Then how's it a best?
Because you scored 22 points.
Kent
State versus Georgia.
Okay.
Look, coming from a guy who picked Georgia minus 43, I felt great about this. I told myself that the couple of things I will do every weekend is I'm going to bet the Iowa under whoever they're playing, and I'm going to bet the Georgia spread because I feel like Georgia's going to
That's not a bad
everybody
theory.
after what I saw against Oregon. South Carolina scored 7 points, and that was on the
South Carolina?
and that was in the fourth quarter against Georgia's threes,
Yeah.
who are better than most teams. Oregon scored 3 points. If I'm Kent State and I'm going out recruiting kids, I'm just having that score.
Yeah,
Up there.
that's
I'm like,
exactly
look, we're
right.
better in South Carolina. It's like, I mean, realistically, we're probably a top 8 team in the nation. We scored 22 points against each
Did you see that screen
What
game?
other teams?
Did you see that screen
Can
game?
Oregon, cool uniforms, Nike, just do it. But Kent State, we're just doing it on the scoreboard.
That's exactly
All right.
right.
So good. I know you lost with Kent State, but this is a loss disguised in a win.
There, like they said, there's no such things as moral victories.
That
but there
is.
are sometimes moral victories.
You scored 22 points against Georgia. That's a more.
There's good recruiting fodder. there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Doing a lot better than Akron right now. Boring. My worst. Missouri, we need to talk for a second.
Oh no! Take a seat.
no.
Oh no!
Yeah, I need you to take a seat.
Chris Hansen.
Are you in the chat as we just blew it, 49-49? So here's my thing. I've seen teams lose games before. I've seen them lose in horrible fashion. Hell, I watched the kick six, stuff like that. The Michigan punt, Michigan State.
That's twice.
That's like, what?
He's bringing up heartbreakers.
Why
That's
can I not
twice
use
today.
examples?
That's twice.
Why can I not
today.
use
They're
examples?
still facts.
Yeah. I have not seen a team blow it twice. It's conspiracy. Like, to me,
You
it's
think it was a
conspiracy.
conspiracy?
It's to that point. Mevis, I need to see your text messages. Like the kicker for Missouri, I need to look at them because I feel like there's.
You're
I feel
checking the
this
kid's
is like
cell
I'm
phone?
getting a bad sport Netflix show type of vibe here. You miss a 26-yard field goal.
And he doesn't warm up.
Yeah, that doesn't warm up. You're gonna warm up now, or you're fired. Pun intended. It was so bad the announcer from Missouri called the field goal good. That's how close it was. Okay, and you know what? You missed a field goal. You look. He said, "Oh, I felt pressure from my left." Look, you can feel pressure from your left. You can feel pressure from your right. You can feel pressure from the top. You can feel pressure from the bottom. You got to make the 26-yard field goal. All right, so you missed that. All right, we go overtime, right? Auburn comes out, offense, absolute garbage. It's a dumpster fire that's wrapped inside of a sanitation place that just caught fire that's enveloped in a world of inferno hot magma fire. That's how bad Auburn is right now.
That's garbage.
These were two bad teams. Like, I got worse by watching this game. Like, as a football person, I got worse. So Auburn makes the field goal. Missouri, 3 plays. You got a guy that's going to walk in the end zone. At worst, you're knocked out at the 2. You'll find a way to score a touchdown. And you fumble the ball going into the end zone because you're changing hands to stick it out, and Auburn wins the game. If I'm Eli Drinkwitz, I don't know what to say after that game. I don't know what to say to y'all. I don't know what to say to anybody.
What do you say, Coach?
What am I saying?
Coach Drake, tell the
Okay.
team.
All right.
I think we have that clip too. By the way.
Yeah. I'm coming in, and here's the team sitting down, looking at me, and be like, guys, this is the moment where I'm supposed to tell all of you that everything will be okay. It happens for a reason, and we just need to keep fighting. Well, that's not what I'm here to say. Mevis, stand up. I want you to look at everybody around here. If anybody wants to pick on anybody or bully anybody, that's the guy.
Wow.
Because I'm not looking. You
Just
blew it
gonna
for everybody.
promote bullying
Then
like
running
that.
back, stand up. Stand up. I want you to explain to everyone why you blew the game the way that you did. I didn't blow the game. Coaches didn't blow the game. Brady Cook didn't blow the game. Offensive line, stand up. Hey, y'all pat each other on the back. Y'all didn't blow the game. Y'all two, here's what we're going to do. I got a Greyhound bus ticket for each one of you guys, because you ain't getting back on this bus. I don't want you around the team. And people say, oh, well, that's so mean. Look, this is a high-level football. Y'all got NIL now. I don't want to hear nothing. You got NIL. There's no crying. There's no I'm upset or any of this stuff. You blew it. It's like Billy Madison when he got old boy to call the teacher, Veronica Vaughn. So hot. You blew it. And you know what the saddest part is? This is the worst thing that could have happened for Auburn. The absolute worst thing that could have happened. Because it's like, all right, terminally ill, we'll try this. We'll eat this plant to see if it works. Oh, it made you feel better for 30 minutes. Well, you're still probably not going to make it, but it's just going to prolong it. Auburn loses this game. I think Brian Harsin's fired the same day. Probably fired on Sunday. You know, put you like these doing old people on the villages. Put them on the raft, push them down the river. Everybody's got to be able to eat food here. You're too old. But now, after this, the magic in Jordan Hare, and people said, oh, Jake, what are you talking about? We're for Penn State. What do you mean the magic? That's what I mean. What do I mean? That is what I mean. I have never seen a team blow it twice in short order like that. In the worst way, the most controllable way. And Missouri, you screwed Auburn. You think you screwed yourself. Y'all were bad to begin with. You screwed Auburn. So now we got to wait another week, maybe another couple weeks. Who knows what will happen in the LSU game? Who knows? Chris Pratt will probably come out of a portal as LSU's throwing a game-winning touchdown pass as time expires to tell us the White Spikes are going to be here in 2 years.
Not that.
Were they playing 3D chess and saying, we'll take this loss now so that we can keep beating Auburn for years to come?
Look, something happened.
The long game.
Look, I don't know what Ouija board Eli Drinkowitz has or what's going on. This made me sick. And just as a guy that coached in the business. In the business. I don't know how. It'd be so hard for me to watch this film knowing what's going to happen. Like, man, that was a great third down run there. You know, halfway through the second quarter, but I bet we blow it.
You just became public enemy #1 for the Elderly Association of America and the anti-bulliers.
I would say the
EAOA.
The allies of the elderly and the anti-bullies.
Don't worry about the first one because they'll forget. You'll be fine. I just feel bad for Drink. Coach Drink, I love Coach Drink, but like you're sitting there, it's like it's my fault. It's my fault because I recruited you. It's my fault. I thought in my head,
it's unforgivable to me.
I looked at film and was like, this is the guy. And it's my fault. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I want
and that's the worst.
That's
the worst. Let's go ahead and run this. Let's run this clip. So Missouri, all they have to do is score a touchdown to win, and Brian Harsin's fired. Just watch this. Pistols just zone left. Oh my God. If you're on audio, I'm telling you right now, and you didn't see this. Now I want you to know, they missed a 26-yard field goal as time expired. And the only reason this guy didn't score is because he switched the ball. He's running down the left side. He's running down the left side, switches the ball to his right, puts it out, and it goes.
How do you even roll Toomer's corner after that?
You don't.
You don't roll Toomer's after that?
I've never. That's the first time in my life I've ever been upset after Auburn won a game.
I'm telling you, this it's bad for Auburn.
And I hate that. I never thought I'd get to that point. But right when that happened, I was mad.
Me too.
Don't say that.
I was legitimately mad when that guy fumbled in the end zone.
I was too.
Y'all were both mad?
Because that looked long term.
Oh.
Long term. Short term? Okay. Long term? It was terrible. What was your worst, Cone?
My worst was Miami. The Miami Hurricanes losing to Middle Tennessee State University. Tyler Van Dyke got pulled out of the game. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, 16 of 32 for 138 yards. 2 interceptions on his first 2 passes. One of them returned for a touchdown, got replaced by a redshirt freshman. It's not good. But I'll tell you what, Mario Cristobal, here's how you know you got the right guy in charge. You're talking about the long term? Here's how you know. He said, real men look in the mirror and do something about it and don't allow any cracks to happen from the inside. We got a lot of work to do.
For sure. Well, it's funny, and people will make fun of Miami and stuff like this. Well, remember, Nick Saban got beat by La Monroe in his first year at Alabama. Now, I am not saying that Mario Cristobal is Nick Saban, but let's not forget that.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, I'm sure. What's your worst?
Mine's App State. App State, you were God's team. You know, you were God's
Apparently not.
team. Son, you know, you beat
28-3.
You beat Texas A&M. No one saw that coming. Then you beat Game Day comes. You beat Troy.
Hail Mary.
On a Hail Mary.
On a Hail Mary in the last seconds. Everyone's like, oh my God, they're sent from the heavens.
Yeah.
And then you lose to James Madison. There's a lot of things I could prop you up for to be successful, and we all were behind you. We all believed in you, App State. You were the team this year. Who knows?
You were the chosen one.
Who knows where I mean, you had the high ground, Anakin. That's what you had. I mean, and then you just completely let everybody down, including Luke Combs.
You let Luke
Is
Combs
Luke
know.
Combs all right? Has anybody talked to
He's
him?
probably writing a song about
He's
it.
probably writing a song about it right
And
now.
Eric Church. And Eric Church.
And Eric Church. Didn't know that one, but for sure. Yeah, that too. But App State, I mean, guys, you let everybody down, including yourself. So it's disappointing.
Well, at least now maybe nobody will take App State's coach. Like Sean Clark will actually be there. Because, look, they lost Satterfield, who I know Louisville absolutely slapped South Florida around the club. But I don't know how long he's going to be there. Then you have Eli Drinkowitz. We just mentioned Missouri took a blowtorch to their future after yesterday. I don't know how you come back from that. I get it. The routine.
Yeah.
Lived it. Was in the business.
The
man, it's a tough. It was tough.
I think the players will come back for a coach, man.
Ugh.
That's all you'll see.
Playing Booster Club.
Talking about App State?
No, I'm talking about Missouri.
Missouri.
What's going on?
Couple donations here.
Okay.
We got Owen Donahue. What's up, Owen?
Oh, Bo.
$5 donation.
Let's do it.
Get that thing, baby. Broncos versus 49ers. What's our thoughts?
Next segment.
Yeah. So I've never seen.
At the under.
It's almost like we watching a crime being committed. Look, let's go through some numbers here. Okay, Russell Wilson, not in the Broncos offense. 9 3-and-outs. No touchdown passes. 126 passing yards. And you won. All right, now I know there were mistakes on the 49ers side, but we're gonna get into our best and worst of the NFL, and I'll go ahead and tell you my worst is the AFC West. I was shocked how bad the Chiefs looked, how bad the Chargers looked. I know the Chargers are beat up. I know the Chiefs, you're going in the Colts, got Pittman Jr. back. Everybody thinks the Colts are terrible. Did the Colts look great? No. Did it feel like the Chiefs just thought they were going to roll their helmets out there and win? You got, Mahomes and Bieniemy getting into it on the sidelines, but the AFC West, the Broncos won, but didn't look great doing it. It just wasn't pretty. I do think that Jimmy G is a better option than Trey Lance. I still think that when it comes down to, turning the ball over. And I know he ran out of the back of the end zone. He pulled a Dan Orlovsky. I get it. We had that. We had the, basically on the anniversary of the butt fumble with Mark Sanchez, we have the butt punt with the Dolphins, which as a coach, that one made me sick. But it was just gross to watch, Owen. It was gross to watch. And it was like a lot of games yesterday in the NFL. It's kind of
the Denver Broncos just on offense just look. It feels wrong.
Something's not right.
Something's not right. It's just everything's clunky. Like the getting 3 to 4 yards or doing easy things seems super hard for them. And you're not used to seeing that with the Russell Wilson offense. Yeah.
No, I'm as big a fan as anybody of Russell Wilson. I'm not going to sit here and paint you a pretty picture. It's not looking good.
Did win, though.
The Broncos haven't scored more than 16 points in a game this season, and they're 2-1.
That's how you want to hear another stat that'll blow your mind? Auburn hadn't scored more than 6 points against a Power 5 opponent in the second half. And I think the last 2 years since Brian Harsin took over.
That's ridiculous. Hey, let's go back to Owen Donahue with the $15 donation.
Owen,
give me all your money.
Owen, bread us, please.
All right, Cone. It says, Cone, say the Ohio State University. If you don't, I'll take it back.
Come on, Cone.
What
I said roll Tide. Come on,
Look,
Cone.
I'm just
a
$15.
Cone, yes,
I'm just a
yes,
messenger, Dave.
you did.
Hey, I think you being in an Ohio State jersey will be enough for this week.
That should
you're
count.
trying to
He's wearing
remind me of
Ohio.
that? Yeah. Tune in on Wednesday.
Yeah, tune in on Wednesday.
Tune in on Wednesday.
You'll get your wish.
Yep.
What else?
My punishment.
Club De La Booster.
Let's go to Devin21. Hey, Devin, hope you had a good weekend. Hashtag Ask Crane & Co. She said, so who's going to be Auburn's interim head coach if they fire Harsin? And name one thing that would be improved.
Zach Etheridge, I don't, with that personnel, again, it's about the personnel. You may get better coaching adjustments. That there may be small things that get changed, but until you get better players, Gandalf and Dumbledore can't come in and fix that.
Maybe Gandalf.
He's
been defending
not
Dumbledore for a while.
But not Dumbledore.
Really?
For many reasons. Which I won't get into right here.
That's rough from the Daily Wire chat. How we doing? He says, how does your heart not break for that Arkansas kid that missed that field goal?
Yeah, again, I've never seen a field goal hit that hit the top of the post and pop right up. I felt bad for Arkansas, but Arkansas had their chances. Look, games aren't won and lost on one play. There's typically 3 to 5 plays that decide a game, but there's many big moments that go on through the game. Some you see, some that you don't. That game wasn't lost by one kid. KJ Jefferson tries to jump from the 12-yard line into the end zone and fumbles. Great play by A&M, high IQ play to pitch the ball back and go. But there were many reasons why Arkansas lost that game, not just a field goal at the end.
Okay, let's go to Cone's laser rocket arm.
There he is.
He says, what's Crane & Company's thoughts on the Allison's episodes on the Daily Wire that just came out?
Oh, I thought it was really good. If you go look, Allison Williams, one of the reporters who didn't want to get vaccinated, so they fired her because she didn't want to join the cult of people that all think the same way.
She's going to be joining soon.
She's going to be joining us soon.
Yep.
An episode we're really looking forward to, so make sure you're already subscribed to check that out. But no, Allison does a really good job.
Yo, that's rough, says Justin Tucker makes 60-plus yard field goals and still misses extra point. I don't care. Is Justin, I want to know this. Let me ask both y'all this. Is Justin Tucker the most consistent player in the NFL?
He's a robot. He hit a 56-yarder yesterday. He hit a 50. Yeah, he hit a 56-yarder yesterday. I would say T.J. Watt. I know he just got hurt, but when T.J. Watt's out there, he balls literally every game. I think Justin Tucker is the best field goal kicker that I've ever seen in my life. Vinatieri, clutch. Justin Tucker, the dude's a butter festival. He just doesn't miss. I mean, he gets up there yesterday, big moment against the Patriots, 56-yard field goal, and it absolutely tattoos one. Right, and you know what? I never thought for a moment he was going to miss it.
Never.
I never thought for a moment. It's like Steph Curry shooting a layup. I'm like, all right, why are we wasting time?
He's probably more consistent than that.
I don't know. Steph.
I don't know if I've ever seen Justin Tucker miss a field goal.
I'm trying to think in my mind. I'm trying to think in my mind when I saw Justin Tucker miss a field goal.
It's a butter festival.
Is it true butter festival? Lando Lakes, Orville Redenbacher.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you look left, look right. I mean, it's an absolute butter parade.
All right, let's go to, God, man, this thing's moving fast today. I love it. All right, let's go to J-Mac, a volunteer. One of my favorite games coming up this weekend. Does Ole Miss beat Kentucky and Oxford this weekend?
Yes, they do. I know, and look, we're about to talk about Tennessee and Florida and all that stuff. I'm telling you guys right now, Kentucky is fool's gold, man. And I've been saying it. Not that they're a bad team. We have to be able to, separate this. But Kentucky is not they're not going 10-2. They're not a top 10 team. Okay. Kentucky's not a top 10 team.
Well, is Ole Miss a top 10 team?
Why is Kentucky? I don't think Ole Miss is a top 10 team. But I think Ole Miss is just as good, if not better, than Kentucky. We've seen more explosive plays out of Ole Miss than we've seen out of Kentucky. And look, Northern Illinois isn't a bad football team. And I know Georgia just struggled with Kent State. And, by the way, people that are comparing Alabama struggling with Texas and Georgia struggling with Kent State like it's the same thing, that's
a knock on Texas.
The same thing. Stop doing that. It makes you look dumb. But with Kentucky, they don't have the ability they can win really in one way. They've got to wait you out. That's what they do. They're not going to go and beat you 55-50. Will Levis is a good quarterback, but not having Wandale, and I say this every week. Not that C-Rod's a bad player, the running back Chris Rodriguez, or T. Robinson, the other kid they have, is not a bad player. But this team is going to struggle to score consistently. They're going to go to Knoxville, and they don't have Anthony Richardson. They don't have some of the cats that Florida has. Which, by the way, we'll get to the Anthony Richardson running the ball thing here soon. But when I look at Kentucky, I don't feel like they can win in multiple ways. I love what Mark Stoops has done. I'll continue to say Mark Stoops is the best coach in Lexington. I think he's way better than Calipari. He's done more with less, and Calipari's done less with more than anybody that there is. But right now, Kentucky at 7? Kentucky at 7?
That's too high.
That's too high. You got Kentucky ahead of Tennessee? Why is Kentucky ahead of Tennessee? Now, they'll have a good year. I think Kentucky goes 8-4, 9-3. That's what I'm looking at. You know what? Let's fill out Kentucky's schedule.
I have it right here.
I tell you what, the chemistry is just unbelievable. It's a Walter White situation in here.
Okay, so
let's go through it.
4-0 with wins over Miami, Ohio, Florida, Youngstown State, and Northern Illinois. They go to Ole Miss this weekend.
Loss.
South Carolina at home.
Win.
Mississippi State at home.
That's a loss. I don't think Kentucky can score with Mississippi State.
Are we getting enough credit? Kentucky has extremely good defense.
Yeah. They do have a good defense, but again, I don't think they're an elite defense. I don't think this is a defense that holds you under 20 points.
I mean, they held Florida to 16 points on the road.
Yes, but Florida also threw the ball to them 3 times.
Can you knock on them? I mean, that's their defense.
No, again, Anthony, let me say this. Kentucky is not a bad team. They have a really good defense. I don't think this defense is holding Tennessee on the road under 20 points. I don't think this defense is holding Will Rogers and Mississippi State under 20 points. I don't think this defense is stifling Georgia. I don't think that. I think they're a top 15 team. I don't think they're a top 10 team.
Okay, then you go to Tennessee.
Loss.
You go to Missouri.
Win.
Vandy at home.
Win.
Georgia at home.
Loss.
Louisville at home.
That game's going to be weird with Malik Cunningham. That game's always weird, but it's at home. Give me a win on that one. So what is that, 9-3? Somewhere around there. I like Kentucky.
Well, not if you have them losing to Mississippi State, too.
That's 8-4?
Then 8-4.
Okay, then there you go. That's where I got them. That's why I think Mississippi State's going to
take the over
loss at
on that.
LSU.
I'll take the over for Kentucky on that. I mean, 10 and I think they're overranked right now. The fact they're over Tennessee.
Wins were.
Do what?
I'm trying to think what their over/under on preseason win, like the season.
I think I want to say it was 8.5.
9.5. I think.
Yeah, it's 8.
They could go 9-3. I don't think you're winning in Knoxville, and I don't think you're beating Georgia at home. And of course, you can lose to Mississippi State. You can lose to Ole Miss. I feel like Kentucky can go on the road and beat Ole Miss this weekend.
I know Tulsa kind of came back there at the end, but I just think Ole Miss can score a touchdown or two more, 10 or more points. Will Levis still hadn't had that game where he's
playing well.
4 turnovers, and so it's coming. I'm just telling you, it's coming. And typically it happens on the road when you're trying to force stuff. And I know Kentucky fans are going to be like, oh, you know, talking about this, that, and the other. I love Mark Stoops. I like this Kentucky team, but I don't think they're the number 7 team.
I like the way Will Levis played on the road at Florida. That's one of the things.
Really
he didn't lose the game.
Played well last game.
He didn't lose the game.
They were at home last game, weren't they?
Yeah, he didn't lose the game.
Well, I mean, Levis is looking nice. He's not looking bad. I mean, he's looking good. I think he already has over 1,000 yards. I'm pretty sure he has 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 67% completion percentage. I mean, he's not looking bad, especially after losing Wan'Dale Robinson, who's an absolute stud. Then they do have some receivers. My biggest question from Kentucky coming this year was who's going to fill the void of receiver. And they have 3 guys who are pretty nice, and that defense is playing well. So I think Kentucky will be in most of the games they play just because the way they're structured. They play defense and run the ball. They build the play action off of it. They have a quarterback who can throw and run with the versatility, and Stoops is a great coach, and they run the hell out of the thing. That's what they do. So,
all right, one more from the Booster Club.
Yeah, 2 donations.
2 donations. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go to Brody Ray. What's up? $9.99 donation.
Appreciate it, Brody.
I probably said this wrong. Breaudi?
That's going to be Brody.
Brody. All right, Brody. Can y'all please disclose to LSU fans that Nussmeier is not the answer right now? Our fans think that just because he threw two touchdowns off of screens last game.
Yeah, so number one, thank you for the donation. Here's my thing with Jane Daniels and this LSU offense. Now, I know Butte was out seeing the birth of his baby boy, I believe.
Congrats.
Congrats to him. They played New Mexico, were able to get by it. I think they ended up covering. Jaden Daniels right now is the best option because if you look at LSU, the way they're built, they're still not very good on the offensive line. You have some young guys like Will Campbell that are green behind the ears that are going to be really good players. Brian Kelly's going to get those guys in there up front. Jaden Daniels can hide a lot of things with the quarterback run game because that affects the way the defense, not only from a coverage standpoint, but from a blitz standpoint, do we stay in base and being able to, 3rd and 6 and making that big run to get the first down or keeping that play alive and having the arm strength downfield. Is he the best when it comes to reading coverages, diagnosing things and understanding what he's seeing? No, but his athletic ability makes up for a lot of those problems. Nussmeier, while he can go through the reads, he's not going to be able to make some of the plays that you've seen Jaden Daniels, especially late. Remember, he led the game-tying drive against Florida State down there that we saw. He's showed in clutch moments that he's not inept and that he can do it. Against Mississippi State, I know Mississippi State dropped passes and dropped a punt, but when he was given opportunities, he took advantage of them. Now, you're going up to Auburn. We're going to see against an Auburn team that's not very good, a defense that isn't very good at Auburn, save Derek Hall and a couple other guys, and you're going to see Jaden Daniels be able to expose them. But the threat of the run that Jaden Daniels gives you really hides problems on the offensive line. You cannot hide those problems with Nussmeier. The zone read, nobody takes it seriously. It's like when Jared Stidham would run the zone read in Auburn. Nobody took that seriously. You're crashing to the back. It may work a couple times, but Jaden Daniels is the guy for right now. He'll make some wow plays. He'll make some head-scratching plays where you don't know why he did that, or maybe he'll miss an open guy every now and then. But he does things to cover up problems that LSU has right now. So, look, you do a couple touchdowns on some screens. Good for Nussmeier. I do think he's a good player, but Jaden Daniels is the right guy to me.
All right, Coney, we got a $4.99 donation from Lawrence Robinson. Cone, does Jordan Hare voodoo strike again versus LSU?
It always does. I call it the Bermuda Triangle. They'll figure out a way.
Mama G's, the stadium.
That's what it is. It's tumors. Yeah, tumors. You get the lemonade. Mama G's get the top tier sandwich, and then the stadium, and then you beat teams you're not supposed to beat.
I don't know what's more mid, Mama G's or Auburn's football team.
What happens though? What happens if Auburn beats LSU, boys? In the long game.
At this point, like this
way.
isn't one of LSU's best teams. Okay, I think this game will be close because LSU will screw up enough to keep the game close, and there will be some crazy stuff that happens in Jordan-Hare.
That'd be 2 wins for Brian Harsin over LSU back to back.
Well, what was LSU's record last year?
Not good.
Not good.
I'm just saying facts. I just want to know your opinion.
Would I be shocked if that happened? No, but again, I'm looking, Cone, at the long-term health of Auburn. This LSU team, this LSU program is going to be back soon with Brian Kelly. It's a matter of time. It's just math and gravity. With Auburn, the situation's a little bit different. So I think LSU probably comes in and kicks a field goal to win it. I'm getting kind of 2019 vibes with Joe Burrow and them when it was kind of a defensive struggle, one of the very few defensive struggles that LSU was in with Joe Burrow. I'm getting those vibes. I just don't see a way in which Auburn scores enough. Auburn can't throw the ball.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, while he's not the best thrower, he isn't going to win any awards for his passing ability, is a lot better than Robbie Asher when it comes to throwing.
So right now for the LSU-Auburn game, that spread's -7.5 LSU.
It's -7.5 LSU. Wow. I don't know if Auburn's going to lose by that much. It's still Jordan-Hare. And Penn State coming up. Penn State's a better team, in my opinion, than LSU.
I think they're more. We got another donation.
Keep
from
him,
Brody.
wow. Brody.
$4.99 donation. I haven't seen his question yet, but I'm sure it'll roll in a couple.
Have you seen the money hit up?
No, the money, yeah.
The money hit up.
The money's in there.
I could on 3 we run.
Okay. You want another question? Or are we going to?
Let's go best and worst NFL.
Let's do it.
Let's do that, and then we'll
best
get back
and
to
worst.
We do that today.
Okay. I can feel like the Booster Club's hot. I feel like the Booster Club's hot today.
Yeah, I mean the Booster Club won, and the Booster Club's always hot.
That's true. I need to watch my mouth.
Yeah,
I do.
Man of the people.
All right.
Watch yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Best in the NFL, Lamar Jackson to me. And it's not, look, we know Lamar can run. I mean, he ended up running, 11 carries for 170 yards. He's averaging 10 yards a carry with a touchdown along at 38. He went 18 of 29 through the air, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 84.1 QBR. But some of the throws that Lamar is making, like we knew Lamar has overachieved in a lot of people's eyes as a passer from what he was coming out at Louisville. Some people wanted him to play receiver. He is making pinpoint throws, high-level throws that typically pocket passers make. You don't see guys that can run like Lamar making throws like this. He hit Duvernay in the back of the end zone with an absolute cash money baby dart, but with perfect touch. Lamar is such he has turned himself. It's one thing to be a guy that has a big arm, right? We always talk about this. It's one thing to be able to throw the fastball, but can you throw the changeup accurately? Do you know when to take some off of it? I mean, the chemistry he has with Mark Andrews could win whatever science prize is out there. It's so unbelievable. But watching him, and I know it's a big money year for him, and I'm happy for him that he's throwing like this and he's playing like this. I know they had the fourth quarter meltdown last weekend, but against the Dolphins. But watching Lamar elevate himself as a passer, he is so dangerous right now to play.
Should be the highest paid.
The decision making, he should be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Yep. In my opinion, right now, Lamar Jackson may be the most dangerous.
I don't know who's more important to their team, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean,
man, that's a good good conversation.
And I was saying in the summer, if I was the Ravens, I wouldn't make him a top 3 paid quarterback in the NFL, just because guys who need their mobility that much, year after year, it gets exponential. Your value is exponentially
it's like a running
decreased, right?
Yeah.
It's just like a running back. But what I've seen in his growth and the ability to throw from the pocket, it's not just like he's throwing on the run or he's scrambling around. His ability to 3 and hitch and hit guys down the field, pinpoint accuracy like you were talking about, is so impressive to me. I'm telling you, and what the Ravens, plus he's in a great place. That Ravens organization has so much stability with Ozzie Newsome and with John.
They know who they are.
To me, it's like you went out, you got your guy, you took a gamble on you took a gamble on Lamar Jackson when other people said he couldn't be an NFL quarterback. That's been proven right. And now I'm to the point now where I want to, change my mind and say, look, pay the guys. I don't know what's going on with him wanting to be his own agent. I don't know what he's asking for. Obviously, there's a certain number. I mean, if he wants $10 billion a year, like at some point it's a business. You can't, I don't, what he's asking. But you want to be the highest paid quarterback. I'm starting to think that this guy could be worth that level of money. And in talking about fantasy football, he's a walking 40 piece.
Look, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm starting to think when I'm watching him during the games, because like, he's not typically Lamar's really animated and celebrating and having. He is just score a touchdown, go high five the guy, and he goes and sits down and puts his hat on. I'm getting a sneaking suspicion that the better he does, he may not end up in Baltimore. He may leave. I've just
because someone else pays him more, he doesn't want to be in Baltimore.
Well, I think there's a little bit of you haven't paid me yet, and I know he knows it's a business. I think he's surrounded himself with guys that have made smart decisions, but I think there's a little bit of ego involved in this, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope he stays with the Ravens. It's a great fit. I mean, you look at what they do with the tight end game. Now they need to put some more pieces around him on the outside. I mean, Duvernay's a nice piece. He's had a great year already. I think he's got 4 touchdowns. He's really kind of becoming the guy. We know Mark Andrews, but they need some more pieces around him to really help him fulfill. For the Ravens to fulfill their potential offensively, you need that piece outside. You need a DK Metcalf, somebody outside that can be a threat outside of Mark Andrews inside. And I know it's working great, but eventually the more this goes along, and it's not a secret that it's tight end. It's a tight end game with the Ravens. But I think there's a little bit of ego when I just look at Lamar. I think this may be a situation where if all of a sudden the Detroit Lions say, you know what, we're willing to pay you. And I know Jared Goff's been doing pretty well, but Jared Goff's not. He's not going to be the guy that leads you to the promised land in Detroit. With St. Brown and Swift and some of the pieces that they have in Detroit, do not be shocked if Lamar Jackson is the starting quarterback for the Lions.
There is no way, if you're in that Ravens organization, you let this man walk out.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not now. It's not you had your chance to go ahead and cash it in. He was ready to sign it, and you said, all right, we'll just wait and negotiate. And so I'm thinking Lamar a little bit is like, all right, that's fine. Watch this. And he is balling.
Oh, yeah. Well,
absolutely balling.
The price went up.
I'm telling you, the price is going up day by day.
That's true.
Because not only have you not paid him, I think you pissed him off.
Well,
I think because what is Lamar going to prove, David?
They're still the one who took a chance on him.
No, they are, but eventually that stuff runs out. You picked me.
It's not like they're not offering him any money. I mean, they're trying to make him a top 4 paid quarterback in the world.
I think Lamar wants to play for the Ravens. I think the Ravens want Lamar to play for him. I just think they got to find the right number, and the more he balls out, I'm telling you, he's going to end up being paid the most in the NFL.
The price definitely went up. I agree with you on that. On the Lamar Jackson front, though, be careful what you wish for. Like I just said, that is a stable organization who has a chance to win the Super Bowl year in and year out. You want to talk about going to Detroit or someplace like that? Like, be careful what you wish for a few extra $1 million or for an extra.
Well, that goes both ways.
That's why you can't make emotional decisions.
This Ravens organization.
But that's a lot easier said than done. That's a lot easier said than done.
Joe was nice, especially at the
now
Ravens.
Joe's nice.
At the Ravens, he was.
When he was starting for the Jets.
I mean, like 20 years ago, yeah, Joe Flacco was pretty good. Before a lot of injuries, yeah, Joe was pretty good.
He was playing with the Oilers.
I mean, Joey Flax is decent, but it's not like you're just going to walk out there and replace Lamar Jackson and go win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not. I mean, so unless you just tank a year for a guy who's just magical at the quarterback
But who's going to be, like, there's no guarantee that anybody's even close. There's not a lot of Lamar Jackson just walking around.
Lamar Jackson's a better Michael Vick.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying right now.
I think that's true.
I agree with everything you're saying right now. I'm just saying Lamar Jackson's only played for one franchise, and it's a pretty stable franchise.
Yeah.
You think you're going to leave there and here's the thinking. I think a lot of times people think I'll get all of the best parts of where I'm at now if I leave and go someplace else, but all of the worst parts will be better too. Yeah. You go to a franchise like the Cleveland Browns or the Detroit Lions, unfortunately, like you're not guaranteed to be in a better place.
True. Got to keep it steady. All right, Blaine, what was your best?
Oh, my best was the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
You sippeth from the cuppeth.
Yes.
You got somewhat, I know this regular season, that's fine, but you know now that you can play with the best. All right? You know now, I still can't believe Tua finished that game. That man had a concussion.
If you watched him after that hit, well, the NFLPA's reviewing it.
Yeah, well, they said it was a back injury, which made him clumsy. I was like, I've hurt my back. I've seen guys hurt their back. They don't get up and do that.
No.
You were concussed. But good for the Dolphins on both sides of the ball. I thought they played really good on defense. The Bills still had adjusted that heat. It's one of those things you could try to replicate it in practice throughout the week, and you're just not going to be able to do it until you're in it. But Tua looked good. That offense looked good. the matchup between Stephon Diggs and that cornerback Howard, I believe. I can't remember.
Yeah, Xavier Howard.
Was phenomenal to watch. I was zoned in on all day, just watching that matchup. And you probably saw a little bit of a preview of what you're going to see in the postseason. So good for the Dolphins, good for Tua, good for that organization. Hey, man, they're 3-0.
Yeah, we have a clip of how this game ended. Watch Ken Dorsey freak out here at the end. But I do got to say, I need to trust my own advice. When two great offenses are playing, take the under.
I said it.
Yeah, overthought it. Super overthought it. All right, let's watch. So there's 18 seconds to go. You just had the butt punt, and Josh Allen and them, he's going to break a tackle, get the ball off. But in the NFL, obviously, even if it's a first down, the clock doesn't stop. This wasn't a first down. They don't have time to snap the ball. You're going to lose the game here. And this is what happens when you lose a game like this. You're going to see the offensive coordinator for the Bills. And let's just say he kind of reacted like I did when I forget to take the trash out. Yeah, breaking the headset. All the stuff gets broken. The funniest part is everybody around is just acting like it's a normal thing. You want to know why? Because they understand.
What other job can you do that at? We're just
can you just freak out?
We're just like freaking out.
None. Unless you're in charge.
We're all upset.
Yeah.
We're all
Unless
upset.
you're
This happens a lot. Like this happens. I've broken multiple headsets. I'll be honest with you.
Oh,
I've broken multiple headsets. Do I feel bad about it for like the next 30 minutes? Yeah, for sure. But after that,
I don't feel bad about it.
Well, the thing about it is like Josh Allen played good in this game, but he missed some throws that Josh Allen usually doesn't miss.
He did. One of the last ones. Down the goal line.
Yeah, well, down at the goal line. I mean, that ball should have been out 3 or 4 seconds ago. Immediately, you had leverage immediately on the snap. That ball should have been out.
He just underthrew it.
Well, he waited too late, and then he had bad mechanics at quarterback position, and he tried to trust his arm too much and didn't put his feet into it, and he underthrew it, and that's what happened. So I feel like they'll get better from this, but this happens all the time with the coordinators, I promise you.
Oh, right. Yeah, on the sidelines too. I will say it's so interesting. This game, the Bills were missing 5 starters on defense. So you think, hey, this will be a game where the offense will win it for the Dolphins. Tua, Jalen Waddle. Jalen had a good game. Believe me, I had him on my fantasy team.
Yeah, he didn't score.
But this game was won by the Dolphins defense, especially in the red zone. They were able to man up, keep the Bills out a lot. Did see a couple turnovers. Had Josh Allen flustered. I think the Heat did have something to do with it. But the Dolphins continue to find ways to win, and that's something we haven't seen from Miami. Mike McDaniel, new head coach down there, got a little Harry Potter in him. Reed said he looked like he was 17 years old, and he really does. But hell, they're winning. He's figured it out. I love when young coaches go in and ball. I love when young coaches go in against the old heads and ball. It's always so fun.
He kind of looks like Dobby to me.
You got a little Dobby in him?
A little Dobby.
I don't see.
Dobby.
He looks more like Where's Waldo to me.
No.
He looks like
Dobby?
Where's Waldo to me.
Okay.
Where's Waldo? I know him.
Okay.
I used to find
You know who Dobby is?
Who's Dobby?
Off Harry Potter?
Yeah.
The little, it's, you know what? We don't need.
Which one is that one?
It's like the little like Harry Potter gave him a sock.
Dobby!
Yeah.
Harry Potter gave him
That was
a
actually a
sock.
pretty good impression.
Yeah.
I take it he
Let's
wasn't.
not walk down the road.
Was he on the one sheet when the poster came out?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't on
No, he wasn't on one sheet. He wasn't on.
Are we doing best and worst, or are we going to
Best.
do the worst?
Yeah, you got
Oh,
best.
yeah, you're up.
I was
Best.
going to go with the Colts.
Okay.
All right, but I'm going to go with the Jaguars instead.
Dude,
When you go
Trevor
beat
Lawrence.
The Chargers on the road. Trevor Lawrence
What?
coming
Beat 'em.
into his own. 38-10. We're figuring
the
things
only
out.
the only Lawrence that's ever been hotter is Jennifer.
You think so?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
mean,
a fact?
Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball well right now, making good
28
decisions.
28
Did you see him in
for
the game
39?
yesterday? I mean, he's putting the ball in the mud, but they're making big league catches too.
Yeah.
Like this is the Jags believe somebody tricked them. Somebody either they got hypnotized. They had one of those guys that had one of those white and black swirly things that they hypnotized them. It worked.
Go ahead,
Doug Peterson.
28 for 39, 262, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, beating one of the best defenses in the league.
Man,
we talked about.
Look, I'm telling you, the Jags, and I know the Chargers are beat up, and Justin Herbert's out there. They took like 3 of his organs out so he could play. You got like the Marilyn Manson surgery so he could play. Keenan Allen's out. Joey Bosa got hurt, I think, in the first quarter. But they just beat the Chargers up.
That offense. Well, I think they're doing a great job moving Trevor.
Well, the offensive
Trevor's
line,
really good on the run.
Doug Peterson was a great hire.
Trevor's really good on the run. He's always been like that. You go back to Clemson. He did well in the pocket too. But I'm telling you, this Jaguars defense.
That's what
these isn't slouches.
I saw Trayvon
around.
Walker out in coverage.
Yeah, like Trayvon Walker's a monster. They have another. I mean, they have Allen too. I believe at the end.
Look, they got cats running around.
They got guys like Jaguars get off the bus. I'm worried.
Yeah,
like
they looked
I'm
apart.
worried. Like I'm worried. They don't have guys out there like, well, I think we'll be all right. But they have guys out there like, yeah,
it's fun to watch.
Yeah,
It is fun to watch. It's great for the game. Like you said, You play bad, you have bad seasons, you get high picks. Now the high picks are starting to figure it out a little bit. Man, I tell you, watching ETN run is so interesting to me because he's fast, obviously, but he's so smooth. He just glides. It's like a figure skater when they get going. He's just eating up yards as he runs. He's like a long strider that's not super tall. It's always interesting to watch those guys.
That ETN, James Robinson.
Dude, James Robinson's.
Yeah.
He's pretty good back.
Picked him up.
He's pretty good back. All right, my worst, the AFC West. And we'll go fast here before we get to the break. AFC West, Chiefs looked awful. Raiders, you looked awful. Titans did look better, but I think that has something to do with the Raiders. How do you get Devontae Adams to get worse? That was a great question, Blaine. Chargers got destroyed by the Jaguars, and not just because you got lost in the jungle. Then the Broncos, yeah, you won 11-10 in 12 innings, but you had 9 3-and-outs, no touchdown passes, 126 passing yards. Guys, the AFC West right now, we're talking about one of the best divisions we've seen coming in the year in the NFL. They are really underperforming at a high level. That is the thing.
Agreed. Well, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay's offense.
Yeah.
You know, we can talk about how the Buccaneers have all these weapons at wide receiver, and they were out this week, and the interior of that line in the offseason got worse. All of those things are true, and Gronkowski retired. All of those things are true, but you still have Tom Brady at quarterback. You have Leonard Fournette at running back, and the guy you're playing on the other side in this game yesterday, Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't have a lot of weapons either. But he's getting the ball out of his hand quick. He's doing the right things. To me, if you're Tampa Bay, you have to be better on the offensive side of the ball, period. And it wasn't just this past game. I mean, what'd they win in Dallas, 19-0?
Yeah, it's been ugly. It's been ugly.
So it hasn't been pretty so far. I hope that those wide receivers for Tampa Bay get healthy and, you know, you get those weapons back. But one way or another, you got to figure it out.
Yeah, and they've been beat up on the offensive line.
I picked the Packers in that game, too. So
Money line?
Well, on the show I did. Go back.
Did you bet on it?
No, I picked Packers, Panthers. Dude, I almost took a parlay. That was Packers, Panthers, Colts. But I psyched myself out of it because I'm a coward. So give me, for my worst, I'm going to do the Raiders. I go back to it. I mean, you got Devontae Adams and got worse. Your team does not look good. It's dysfunctional on both sides of the ball, realistically. The only team in the NFL, the history of the NFL, that made it to the playoffs that started 0-3 is one team. That's the 2018 Texans. So it's not good right now. Josh McDaniels, it just doesn't look functioning right correctly. You have the guys. You just signed Waller at tight end. You have Josh Jacobs.
Waller's got to start catching balls in traffic. He's got to stop looking around.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah, it seems like he gets in the huddle. He just doesn't seem excited about it.
Yeah.
You know,
he just got paid.
Derek Carr is Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr, but I don't think he's going to be the guy who's going to win you the big games. I mean, you signed Devontae Adams. I mean, you have guys that are good enough to win games. You're going out of your way to lose games. You just played against a Titans team that I think you're better than. I think you have more talent than.
I agree with that.
But you lost that game because you don't know how to play a full game. You get paid a lot of money, millions of dollars, to play full NFL games. I haven't seen them play more than 2 quarters well.
Yeah. No.
Shout out to the Titans, man. Big win.
Yeah.
Needed it.
What is that over there? Is this your home state?
I'm not a big Titans guy. I'm just not a big Titans guy.
Well, I need you to get it together.
This is your home
Big
state. Preds guy, though. Big Preds guy.
This is your home state now.
You need to lock it up.
Vandy
That's
fan?
a big win. That's a big win. They just lost Taylor Lewan.
You going for Vandy?
I'll support Vandy. Hey, when they had Scottie Pippen Jr., we were watching Scottie Pippen Jr. play. You know?
Yeah, look,
supporting
I've
the
got no
basketball
problem
team.
with Vandy. They don't have expectations like Blaine
Trying to be a
says.
part of the community.
They
Blaine.
do have expectations.
But speaking about expectations, we're going to get back to the Booster Club right when we get back. Going to have a rapid fire. If you want to watch the rest of this, remember you can listen to it here, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. But if you want to watch, head over to the Daily Wire Plus, become a member. Our list on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Go ahead, subscribe, hit that like button, sub to our YouTube, leave a 5-star review, share it with all your friends. We're coming back with Booster Club, rapid fire, fantasy updates, and bets. We'll be right back. All right, Blade, Booster Club real quick, then we're going to grade that team.
Let's go to the Chicago Sports Network.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, he says, what are our thoughts on the NC State-Clemson game this weekend?
I think it's going to be low scoring, believe it or not. And, you know, that's a great segue to lead us in to grade that team. This is your shot, NC State. Didn't play great against East Carolina. Hadn't really been challenged since then. Still undefeated. Everything's in front of you. Clemson coming off a crazy game against Wake that went into overtime. The defense showed you. I was just shocked and I don't want to get too far into it, that Clemson wasn't more effective against that slow mesh RPO by Wake Forest. But it's going to be a hell of a game. To me, it's the headliner for the weekend.
The slowest mesh I've ever seen.
Dude,
you're talking about slow mesh?
so awesome.
I mean, they're
Slow-mo.
standing there. They're just standing there. Like someone on defense, do something. Now I pull the football.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's the most wild thing I've ever seen.
It has to be awesome for a receiver, too.
Yep.
Like, hey, I have time to get open.
One more question.
Okay, let's go to Blaine's beard. I miss you.
Ooh.
How long before the Denver fans look at LV and say, I told you so?
Talking about the Raiders.
Yeah, I know.
If I was a Denver fan, I would be very careful talking trash about anybody or anything right now because the Broncos, they've still got to figure it out, right? You got to make like a math teacher, put the numbers together and figure it out. But if you're going to pile on a team, especially the one in your division, the Chiefs aren't that, the Chargers aren't that, the Chargers will be fine eventually. Remember I said that. The Raiders right now are somewhat of the laughing stock of the NFL.
You think
Not the Texans.
Y'all think Devontae Adams is regretting this decision?
What I think he's regretting putting that Taco Bell in his house.
A lot of talk was,
I don't know. He's got a future Hall of Famer throwing to him. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah.
He said, I had a Hall of Famer throwing. Now I've got another future Hall of Famer throwing to me.
No.
You think the Raiders are turning around?
No.
No?
No.
No chance.
No. Well, what's turning around? Go to the playoffs?
Start winning games.
Like go to the playoffs?
They'll
Is that
win a
turning
game
around?
this season.
They will win a game. No, they'll make the playoffs.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. There you go.
There you have it.
All right.
100%.
You're 100%
I don't
of
deal
that.
in absolutes, but they're 100% not making
Yeah, it's like I
the
say, I don't make ultimatums, but listen, I need to make one.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into grade that team.
All right, grade that team. I got a couple teams, college football teams from
Do
this
NFL
past
tomorrow.
weekend. I want a letter grade from each of you.
Okay.
All right, and then you tell me why. Let's start with Georgia.
I'm going D. Woo! I'm going D. You got way too good of players. You talk about the process. Kirby Smart, we need to treat every opponent the same. You didn't, but Brock Bowers is still a witch. Let me say that. Georgia will be fine. It's just one of those games, but I expect more out of Georgia. I think this is a D effort, and I think Kirby would agree with me. I think Georgia fans would agree with me.
Yeah, I go F.
Really?
F.
I go
They
F.
won, though.
One.
F?
One
How can you
because,
How can you get an F and you win?
because you played the worst I've ever seen you play. Almost.
What?
And I had you minus 43. So, I mean, you win. You beat a
That's
Kent State
why.
team.
So what if they lost?
You beat a
What
Kent
if they
State
lost
team.
to Kent State and I asked you the grade?
F minus.
No, that's not how it
F
works.
minus.
You
That
And
is how it
F
works.
minus?
That is how it works.
They make F pluses?
No, you know,
That's the
I
case.
didn't
I'd
give you a
have
grade.
graduated
I
way
called your
earlier.
parents in, and we're going to sit down and have a conversation.
Oh.
That's how it's a parent-teacher
PTA
conference
meeting.
type of
Oh,
thing
yeah,
going
parent-teacher
on there.
conference.
How'd you only beat Kent State by 20?
Okay, well, did you have Georgia?
17.
That's where this is coming from.
No, it's
he had
personal.
Georgia to cover.
It's personal.
Never mind,
100%
you were skewed. Okay, and good luck to whoever plays to Georgia plays next. That's
Oh, you're dead.
all right. Washington.
Give me an A. Coach Kalen DeBoer said it before the season. Had Washington going 7-2 in the Pac-12. They may be the best team in the Pac-12. Washington may be the best team in the Pac-12. They're one of the most complete. I mean, they got big Penix energy up there right now. It's they did it again. They're winning. You can see their identity. They can run the ball. The play action game's good. Penix can sit back there in the pocket. He can work outside of the pocket. They can affect all three levels of the defense. The run game is somewhat. It's not as simple as it was as Fresno State. He's doing some more complex things. You're seeing a little bit of a mix of the zone and the gap scheme. I think Washington is really dangerous. Give me an A, and it's going to be very fun to continue to watch this team to stay healthy, Michael.
Blaine?
I'd go, give me a B+. I feel like Washington's a good football team on both sides of the ball. I was really impressed with that defense, too, especially stopping the run. I know Stanford's not the best team in the world, but they look fundamental on both sides of the ball. And Penix Jr., to me, I know he's only like 6'2", but this dude looks like a tree.
He looks
to me.
huge.
Like, I saw him like, yeah, and here's a quarterback. And
He's
Penix
just
Jr.
long.
Just busting through the sleeves. He's
Yeah,
like, down. Said I saw grab all the veins were popping. I was like,
It's like the ball, like the
good
football's
job.
going to pop.
He's one of
when
the
he
guys
holds
that's
it.
go in the weight room and just freaks out for 3 hours.
Yeah, like me.
Texas.
C. I'll give you a C. Look, I know Quinn's hurt. You can't lose that game, especially the way they lost it. Once they got up, you got up against UTSA and were able to bury him. This gives a ton, and I'm going to give a ton of credit to Coach McGuire and Texas Tech. The quarterback, Donovan Smith, as well, did a great job coming back from the week before when he had a couple turnovers. You really saw him laser focused. Coach McGuire talked about his week of practice and his leadership. I think that speaks a lot to the young man. But look, Texas, I'm telling you, this is why the SEC, this is why I keep telling y'all, and y'all don't want to listen. You say, oh, we're going to go to the SEC and it's going to be fine and dandy. If you think the gauntlet of having to play Bama, then UTSA, and then Texas Tech is tough, oh, just wait. Just wait. Wait till it's Bama and Arkansas, then Kentucky, then LSU when they're finally back where they need to be. These are the performances you cannot have when you come over to the SEC, because you won't lose by 3, you'll lose by 20. You'll lose by 25. So I give them a C. May could have gone worse. I thought Sark and them didn't put the fork in them when they had a chance to. And congrats to Texas Tech. They earned the win.
I hear what you're saying on the SEC, and I agree with that too. Even I look around the Big 12 right now, and I'm thinking like, man, week in and week out, especially with Texas and Oklahoma still in there. Obviously, they're both going to be going. But when you have Baylor and Oklahoma State and who were we talking about the other day? Kansas State. Kansas State with another big win, and even Kansas being undefeated now. It's like you can't even turn your head for 1 second in the Big 12 now.
No, look, the Big 12's pretty deep.
Yeah.
They're pretty deep.
I'd go D for Texas because one, how you lost the game, and 2, you made the second half adjustments just weren't there. And Sark, you're supposed to be that guy, right? So you're the quarterback guy. And I know Quinn's hurt and everything, but the defense fell apart. Post Malone at the worst time. You didn't make any second half of adjustments. That's what hurt me the most. I feel like Hudson played well.
Hudson Card's going to play well enough to
did mostly. I mean, he
34 points.
Bumped his ankle.
Should beat this Texas Tech team.
Bumped his ankle a little bit on the hit, but I was more upset about the second half adjustments, and the Sark got beat on that. So I'd give him a D.
Arkansas.
C. I thought Arkansas, especially in the last 3 quarters, you had opportunities. Obviously, KJ trying to jump 35 yards and score the touchdown that ended up being the game-changing play. A&M was able to pick it up. You saw the handoff backwards, which was a high IQ play that ended up scoring for A&M. You had opportunities. Arkansas had an opportunity to bury them early. You saw them come out playing really well, was mixing the ball around. The run game was working. KJ was effective. Kendall Briles, to me, from a play calling standpoint, I feel like he got too conservative at the end and then tried to just turn it up. And Kendall typically doesn't do that. You do got to give credit to A&M. They did come back and win the game. I mean, A-Chain can absolutely fly. He's one of the fastest people in college football. But Arkansas, holistically, now you did only give up 23 points, but A&M hadn't been super explosive on offense. And it wasn't like there was a ton of super explosive plays for A&M on offense outside of the A-Chain run. Really, the most explosive plays consistently came on the defensive side. But I feel like Arkansas, even with a beat-up secondary, even with the way they've struggled in the back end, was the better team in this game. And I felt like they didn't play up to their standard for the last 3 quarters. And it's a huge win for A&M, especially when you have to go to Mississippi State and to Bama. If you're able to go 2-1 through this stretch, you're in a much better position than what I thought you were going to be. Now, that was before, because remember, before the season, I said I think A&M goes 4-4 in the conference. I think they start out 1-2 in the conference. The only caveat in that was if they start Max Johnson, because this was made after the Haynes King announcement, because I just didn't believe in Haynes King. Turns out I was right.
I get Arkansas B-. I think this was a pretty equally matched game.
Oh, yeah, there's a reason it was a pick 'em. I just feel like Arkansas had the momentum early as well.
For sure, yeah, but you go back to that huge mistake and from KJ on that dive. Like, you can't do that, especially in a game like this. Mistakes like that get you beat. I felt like Arkansas.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, let's pull up.
I feel like Arkansas played up to their standard, up to their talent, up to their personnel. They're just banged up on defense. That secondary's bad. I mean, they had a kid out there who looked like me playing corner. I was like, this isn't the best situation. So I felt like this was an equally matched game. I just feel like, KJ, you can't do that in a game like this.
Don't sell yourself short on covering somebody.
You could cover.
I'm not covering.
As a sports media,
you could cover unless we're in zone. Am I playing a deep third?
Yeah, let's go ahead and pull this Arkansas, Texas A&M.
The fumble by Arkansas.
Fumble by Arkansas. Let's go ahead and run the clip. So this is such a huge play in the game because the way the momentum was working. Go ahead.
Okay, before we start this clip, why aren't we throwing this ball out here?
I don't know. Look at the numbers.
Why aren't we throwing this ball out here?
You got 3 on 2. Now, it's 1st and goal. You may have wanted to run one. I get it, but this should be a read. You have to read the numbers. So KJ is going to try and jump from the 4. Ball gets knocked out. I mean, you can watch it. Picked up by A&M. He's going to pitch it backwards. This is a great play. And then here you go. Arkansas goes up 21-7 into the half. Or even if they go up 17-7. A 2-score lead against A&M with the way it was trending on offense it felt like 25 points. So this got him back in, got the momentum back in. It's a hell of a play by the defensive player, knocking it out once he saw KJ elevate, and then a great decision to be able to hand it off and go score. But it was a great game. I got to be honest, these Arkansas helmets are so fire. I don't even know.
Look, you can never go wrong with the crispy whites, I promise
The
you.
crispy whites with the red hog.
But I was so
Here's the handoff.
surprised by KJ doing this. I was so surprised by KJ doing this. This is not really a KJ thing to me.
Well, KJ's protected the ball.
Yeah, he's been extremely good at it. Like this was somewhat of an arrogant move for me on his part. He had to, in his head, say, "I'm jumping."
Oh, he made
Before
his
the
mind
play
up.
started.
Jumping. Yeah, he
I'm
did.
jumping.
Yeah, he did.
I'm definitely jumping. So this is strange.
All right, let's go.
All right, Clemson beating Wake Forest.
B. DJU finally looked comfortable. And I was the one that said I thought this was the game Cade Klubnik comes in because I've never seen DJU look like that. And you can say, oh, well, he's looked decent at times during the year. He's looked decent at times last year. But he actually put a full game together, and I saw him comfortable in the pocket. The reason I give them a B is because I was shocked that the slow mesh RPO was able to work as well as it was. I know they were a little bit banged up on defense, but Clemson's defense had no answer. Wake Forest did everything that Wake Forest wanted to do. They really didn't even have to adjust.
Yeah.
They were just running their offense.
I want your grade, Cone. When do you grade him?
Do what?
I want your grade.
I give him a B+. I give him a B+. This is a good win on the road. DJ Uungalale throw 5 touchdowns, which is huge. But to me, you can't give up that many points to Wake Forest. If you're a top 2, top 3 defense in the country, like we've been saying, I can't give you even an A- on that.
Yeah, I like that. I'd go B+. I'd go B+ just because DJU did what he did. Like, I don't want people to freak out, though. This Wake Forest defense is not that good, okay? And usually with a team like this, especially what they run, kind of up-tempo somewhat, you know, I can see why you put them enough points on them. We'll find out this weekend. All right, consistency. That's what that's what DJ needs. Consistency. You got to be the same guy on that every Saturday when it comes up. You're facing a good Wolfpack defense.
Well, those windows that you were throwing through that were tight this week against Wake Forest a little bit are about to tighten a whole hell of a lot up. The NC State secondary can lock you down, throw away the key. Best of luck to you.
Do you want to get to some of these rapid fire stories here?
Yeah, let's go rapid fire.
We
quick.
have some more teams we're going to grade later in the week. Kentucky, Florida State, the Buckeyes.
Yep.
We can keep adding to that list.
By the way, shout out Florida State, another big win.
Yeah. Here we go. Albert Pujols joins the 700 club. I think we have that clip as well.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play this clip. Couldn't happen to a better person, the guy that's done it right, and I think he is obviously going to retire now that he did it. Here's the pitch.
Get out of here, ball.
There it is. It's history.
That's why you walk
and
him.
I'm not
I think
just
that was
talking about the
699.
ball. Blaine, that's why you walk them?
That's why you walk them. You know how many times this is going to get played with you on the mound?
Well, I'm just so glad Albert did it.
And I'm
you know
pretty
what? Go
sure-
right at him.
And I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong in this situation, but oh boy kept the ball.
He didn't give it back to
I
him.
think he walked out with it.
I don't think that's a crazy thought.
I tried to offer him a deal and something like that. He's like, no. He's going to end up selling it online for millions.
Of course, I'd
millions.
sell it for $1 million.
You got to respect it. If I'm a
How
fan,
much do you think it'll go for, though, realistically? I say 700,000.
You think so?
I think it's $1 million.
You think it's a milli?
I think right now in today's economy, someone will pay $1 million.
Well, you just sell it to Albert.
Someone will pay $1 million. Yeah, I was thinking about like, look, am I mad at this guy? No.
That's
I'm
smart
not. You
business
paid
play.
a ticket to come here to maybe catch one of these balls. All right, if you're a fan of baseball, way the road.
like I'm saying,
if I'm catching this, you know how quick I'm getting out of that stadium.
Oh, I'm Gonzo the
Yeah,
Clown.
next to James Bond
Gonzo
music
the
starts
Clown.
playing.
Yeah, well, it's like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Hey, I got the gold ticket in my chocolate bar, so you don't get to go. I get to go. That's how it works.
But then he went and gave it back to Willy Wonka, though, right? He
Yeah,
gave
well,
the
he
golden
went
ticket
there.
back.
Yeah, for what?
y'all don't really
he
know
got
this.
the whole factory.
Y'all know the true origin
He got the
story,
whole
then.
factory. You know what I want, Albert? You want this ball back? I want the factory, dog.
Y'all know
I want the
true
chocolate
origin.
river.
The whole
I want the
organization.
schnozberry.
I'm part owner now.
stock?
You want the ball back? I'm part owner
Yeah,
now.
give me some stock in
Well, do y'all know the
Everlasting
true
Gobstopper.
story about the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
No, we don't have time for that right now.
Okay.
That's a cold open. that's a good open.
All right, Georgia Tech and head coach Geoff Collins are going to part ways.
Yeah, it had to happen.
Jeffy.
You know, I hate it for Jeffy. I hate it
Is that
for
the guy
Jeff.
from The Ring?
I just wish Lane, yes, Jeffy Dahmer. I just wish that Lane Kiffin would have taken it a little bit easier on him, and maybe he wouldn't have got fired.
Lane Kiffin.
Like, Lane, take it a little bit easier on him. But this had to happen. I hate it as part of the business, though.
Yeah.
You're 10-28, 7-19 in the ACC, and he just looks inept. And Jeff Sims, I mean, Luke and Bill was talking about it. You look at Jeff Sims, you're like, how is this guy not good? But it's that one game that They can play complementary football. One game, the defense looks horrific. The next game, the offense looks horrific. The game after that, they all look horrific. It had to happen, and it sucks, but it's part of the business.
I hope Coach Collins gets a high-level assistant job.
Oh, he'll go to the Nick Saban and the Nick Saban school for coaches who want to coach gooder.
Yeah.
Be an analyst.
All right. Patrick Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy got into it a little bit on the sideline. I think Patrick Mahomes wanted to go for a little bit more right before halftime.
Yeah.
They were kneeing it out.
Ended up costing you. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
I've always wondered, quarterback could get hurt. Look he's upset right here. Mahomes is like, I don't want to run the ball and finish the half. He's like, well, stop. We're playing good. It's tough. They got a good D-line. I know, but just trust us. Come on.
Andy Reid had to come get it.
Yeah, and who did he go talk to? He went to talk to Mahomes. I'll tell you who survived that one. Who'd survived that war? That would be Patrick Mahomes. Bieniemy, and look, it's kind of a triangle between the three of them, between Andy Reid, between Eric Bieniemy, and between Patrick Mahomes. They're kind of all very involved. We know Bieniemy calls the plays. Patrick, you really send 2 plays in there, let Patrick pick one, whatever. But this is more about mindset. You're the Chiefs. You're an offensive. It's an and one mixtape tour out there with what you do offensively. You have all these weapons: Juju Smith-Schuster, McCole Hardman, Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The offensive line looks a lot better. They're mauling people up front in some situations when you know they have to run the ball. Where the Chiefs struggled when they've struggled, when teams know they have to run the ball, they know they have to run the ball, and they're not able to get it. That team's different. You got to be aggressive. I'm with Patrick Mahomes here.
I agree.
Look, is he a bath bomb guy? Yeah. But you know what? Bath bomb guys sometimes can be a little aggressive.
Exactly. Don't take anything away from him.
Exactly right.
That's
exactly right.
Discount double check.
BE aggressive. Patrick, I get it to a certain extent, but let's not overreact about this too much. How much time was left? 14 seconds?
Still, I think it's a mindset.
Patty, if I'm him, like, Patty, look, I get what you're saying. That's fine. We'll go to the locker room and we'll talk about it. And another thing, if you ever talk to me like that again, I will violate you on camera.
They pay him $500 million.
No, the most important person.
Andy Reid came over and was like, hey, Patrick, you're right.
He's like, Patrick, you wants to fire Eric? Or?
But, I mean, you go back to that Chiefs-Colt game, the Chiefs' special teams were a disaster.
Yeah, which is crazy because Dave Toeb's one of the
great
best
job. You drop a punt, you miss a field goal,
is.
you fake a field goal and not get it. I mean, that's on the special teams coordinator. And the thing about it is it kills me about the NFL when, like, one side's messing up a lot. They show the coordinator.
Oh, I love it was
nothing but his face.
Yeah, I love it.
Half the game, I was like, this poor guy.
For sure. Or if the player's screwing up, they just show the player on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's like, it's his fault.
Like, it's part of it.
Yeah.
Watch Tom Brady break this iPad into 3,000 pieces.
All right, last one. It sounds like Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick are out of the NASCAR playoffs.
Yeah, Blaine, what do you think about NASCAR?
And look, I feel like they do a great job turning left.
Turn left.
Well, it's it was kind of a bizarre situation. I mean, you have guys winning these early NASCAR playoff races that you typically don't see it. Now, like you said, you've got Kyle Busch is out, Kevin Harvick's out. You've had 2 others out. It's coming down to it a little bit. I still think you're going to see one of the big heads in NASCAR end up winning it. But this was kind of a bizarre start with who's actually winning the races and who's getting kicked out early. So we're going to monitor this more. We're going to dive down into it a little bit. Not a ton, but
Talladega coming up?
Little NASCAR.
I don't know. Why are you asking me?
Jake?
Huh?
Talladega coming up?
Yeah, it'll be coming up.
Okay. What do you mean coming up? Like they'll do it at some point in the future?
No, like it's soon.
Yeah, and relatively.
I'm pretty sure it's soon.
Relatively soon.
We'll let you look that
relatively
up.
soon.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
you're
all
a
I got
NASCAR
for
correspondent, Blaine.
I mean, look, you pay me enough, I'll turn left.
Not going that fast, I won't. All right, go ahead and read a couple questions. We have got to get to mailbag. You want to read a mailbag question?
I'll read a mailbag
Let's read a mailbag question.
This one from Wesley.
October 2nd.
October 2nd?
Nice.
That is coming up.
That's when me and Reed's engagement party is.
Yeah, it is.
That is coming up.
Which
Wow.
you're going to, right, Blaine?
Yeah, I'm not going to miss that.
Good.
Ooh, question from Wesley. Who are your
Wesley.
dark
Nice.
horses for the NFL awards? Rookie of the Year, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, etc.
Ooh, dark horses. Coming into the year, I'll treat it kind of coming into the year. I was really high on Jahan Dotson. Look, you see Garrett Wilson, you see Olave, who just had a really big game
best
for the
one.
Saints. Really good. Drake London
There it
looks
is.
good for the Falcons. But to me, man, Jahan Dotson, I know the Commanders looked like absolute flaming garbage yesterday, but I just think Jahan Dotson's got the most witch in him.
I go Drake London for sure. He is balling.
But is he a dark horse though? I mean, he's the first wide receiver taken.
Was Drake or Garrett Wilson?
No, Drake was.
I think it was
Drake was the first one. Drake was the first one taken.
I think it was.
Out of
Okay.
USC.
I mean, how many receivers you had to pick in the top 10? Him and Garrett Wilson. So no, I think like if you're a rookie of the year, you're still. You're a dark horse. I think
How are we feeling Josh Allen MVP still?
I think Josh Allen's going to win the MVP.
him and Lamar.
Lamar Jackson I think would
I'm
be a
telling
good
you
pick
right now,
too.
I think
On
Lamar
the rookie of the year though, any of those guys could win it. Jahan Dotson is balling. How about Aiden Hutchinson?
Dude,
Aiden
your boy.
Hutchinson could win that thing.
Your
man.
boy, man, I like Dan Campbell a lot.
Yeah.
The coach for the Lions.
Defensive player of the year, maybe Micah Parsons. Maybe
Ooh,
that gets
man,
into our
I
bets
hope so.
a little
yeah,
bit.
that'll get into our bets.
What was
defensive player of the year? I know Micah absolutely balled last year. You look at Aaron Donald, who just got his 100th sack. But man, every time I watch Derwin James Jr., he is
good.
just so talented. He's so versatile. He can come down and cover the slot. He can play over the top in the sky. He can come down heavy against the run. He's just so versatile. I know the Chargers got absolutely beat to death by the Jags, especially on the defensive side. But I still watch Derwin James make all these plays. I'm just glad they paid him.
So this is defensive player of the year. I don't know how I don't sit here and not pick Aaron Donald. I don't know how.
Dude, can I say this too?
I don't know how.
The other corner, the Bryant kid, you had Sauce Gardner and then Kobe Bryant, the other corner from Cincinnati. He's for the Seahawks. I'm watching this dude play.
He's nice.
He is balling.
He's nice.
Like, you talk about physical, he's one of the most physical young corners that I've seen. He absolutely smoked Marcus Mariota on a blitz yesterday.
Yeah.
They brought a little cat fire,
Good game.
and he was able to come in and make the play. All right, bets, then we'll get to Booster Club and parting thoughts. Here's what I got tonight. I'm going one prop and one money line.
Love it.
That's how I live my life. One step at a time. There's one, let's be friends. Graham Gano, over 1.5 field goals at minus 115. Yeah, we're in the Rockies. Go ahead and give me that. Then give me the Giants money line at home. Let's keep it going. Producer Justine, how are you feeling about it? I know nobody else can hear you besides me, but I need good vibes from you in there. I know who you're feeling good. It's a whiteout. It's the crispy whites are coming out. It's a whiteout apparently. It's not hashtag rush hour. It's not. Not that I think Cooper will play bad.
Weather like? You know what the weather's going to be like tonight?
Well, they aren't they able to dome it, or am I just tripping?
I don't think the Giants
Is the
are
Giants? Yeah, I know. Obviously, Jerry's World, they can. But give me the Giants money line, and I hope Saquon does not go off for your sake, David. Those are my bets.
Well, you know what? That gets into my bet. Saquon to score a touchdown at any time, plus 100. One way or another, I am going to be happy tonight. Okay, I'm either going to hit this.
I love that. I'm so proud of you for that.
Yeah, just for those who need to know, we need Saquon Barkley to not score like 40 points in fantasy football. All right, I'm trying to beat Michael Knowles right now. And then really big unit play here today. I'm trying to come back, late in the month here.
Love it. Johnson.
Let's get Zeke to score a touchdown.
Okay.
And have over 65 rushing yards.
Okay.
And have CeeDee Lamb have over 60 receiving yards for plus 700.
Big unit. I hope you
man.
hit it. By the way, a couple other prop bets to look at. Tony Pollard, over 17.5 receiving yards is like minus 115. I think that's a hell of a bet. And Micah Parsons. Well, you know what? I'm not going to. That's one of Baby Cone's bets. Go ahead, Blaine.
Okay, I am taking kind of a rough weekend a little bit. Actually, could have been worse, but I'll take only being down 2.
Disgusting.
Give me the Cowboys plus 5. I feel like this will be a field goal game. I really do. These are two evenly matched teams somewhat. It's minus 180. Then give me the Giants-Dallas under 43.5. 60 degrees, a little bit chilly. Minus 194. I need to go 2-0 today. 2-0 today. We do need to do little fantasy updates.
Oh, no. We're about to. Baby Cone, he's going to take the under at 42.5 Blaine for the Giants. Cowboys at minus 175. Then I love this bet. Micah Parsons over 0.75 sacks, so he needs a full sack or really just two half sacks. And that's at plus 101. Now, Micah Parsons is a little bit under the weather apparently today, but I still feel like regardless if he's under the weather, over the weather, on the side of the weather, or around the weather, he can still probably get a sack. And Daniel Jones does have a tendency to get sacked more than a group of potatoes in Idaho. So we'll see that. The under, you do got to feel good. But fantasy update, Cone, tell everybody your situation fantasy-wise, and I'm talking about football,
Davey?
not the whole one with Gal Gadot and the archery set.
Yeah, so right now, I have 109 points. Knowles has 68.
Ew.
Right?
Knowles has 68?
But
They're
After
projected
all that
80
trash
you're
that Michael
projected
talked.
87, never.
Yeah,
gonna be 80.
Saquon Barkley, one of those few backs who can just go off for 45 and then I have
So
to
what's the
listen to
number
Michael
you have
Knowles.
to? It has to be under 40. So tell
Yeah.
me the score again.
No, it's
If
68, 109.
if Saquon scores in the 30s, I'll win.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just
So
keep
that's
it at that.
32.
Yep.
That's okay.
Let's
you
just
need
keep
under
it at that.
42.
Because
Yep.
the loser of this week's fantasy matchup between Michael Knowles and myself, the loser has to
Becomes
have
pregnant.
do the pregnancy simulator
yeah.
with the stem patches,
Oh,
crank
my
it all the
goodness.
way up to level pregnant.
Do I have to be just like holding your hand, telling you it's going to be okay?
No, because I'm not losing.
good.
Hold his
I love
hand.
that mindset.
Hold his hand.
I'll hold
Yeah.
his hand.
Okay.
I want to hold your
And
hand.
Knowles
we'll play it
deserves
live
this.
on air.
Knowles does deserve this
Yeah.
after all the trash
does.
talk and blaspheming.
Okay, so I'm
that
going to
took
go through
on.
just kind of the scores real quick. Team Morning Wire, it's 80 to Sweet Baby Game. Matt Walsh, 141. Walsh, you putting up points. I beat Andrew Clavin, 118 to 106.
I'm going to read my score. Don't read
Go
my
ahead,
score.
Jake.
All right, here's what I got. I beat Ben Shapiro, who is also my boss. So again, we're all
you lost
friends here.
anyway.
Yeah, I beat him 124.96 to 114.90. Was a hell of a battle. Kyler Murray didn't do fantastic, but I do personally want to thank Travis Kelce again for showing up. My boy Cam Sutton. Cortland Sutton, I'm losing my mind. 17 points. Evan McPherson with a cool 9 points. Bears, big pick late to give me 2 points. Sweated it out a little bit. He did have a couple injuries. It was unfortunate for him. Dalvin Cook went out, who was having a good game. T. Higgins went out, who was having a good game.
geez.
Dallas Goedert went out, who was having a good game. So, I probably got fortunate in that one. So, by the way, you can check it out. We are having a landing page that is almost done where you can go keep up with everything. It has links to everything. Because, look, it's going to get awfully physical, all right? And we all know that the loser has to go one of the worst punishments possible. I mean, this is bad. You have to sit courtside at a WNBA game. Yes, that's a real thing.
With
With
an equal pay shirt on.
an equal pay shirt on.
Either that
that's
or
the
a
truth.
free Brittany Griner
That's
shirt.
the truth. Anything from Boots Club.
Yeah, poll.
Poll.
Who wins tonight, Giants or Cowboys?
I'm going to say people said the Giants win 59%.
Give me the Cowboys.
Giants, 55%. Cowboys, 45%.
Awesome. Well, 100% of the time, you need to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Got a great show tomorrow. Going to have Big Game Boomer on as a guest. We're going to reveal our list. We're going to do more of Grade That Team, previewing everything college football, previewing NFL as well. All sports. Just check us out. I know you guys are finding us on all different platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. And like the chances of this being a shootout tonight in New York between the Giants and the Cowboys, we're going.